Hey everybody, this is our back to work weekend. We've taken the last 6 weeks off from work and it's time to get back to it, and this is the first job. Today we're going to start working on some tree chopping and organizing for firewood. It's kind of time sensitive. We need to take care of this before like snakes and bugs and all sorts of stuff get established. So we're going to start there today, and then we're going to move on to our kitchen soon. Please give our video a like, subscribe to our channel, and sign up for notifications, please. It very much helps us with the YouTube algorithm.
So this is the reason for the whole wood project to begin with. These are ash trees, and at first we thought they were bears barking on there because it was just like a little bit. But then when we looked it up online, it was obvious it was the emerald ash borer beetle.
No, somebody told us on Instagram.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All these great people on Instagram told us that it was emerald ash beetle woodpecker damage.
So you can see it right there. I mean, it's all like beetle mark. But anyway, this is all woodpecker. And this is going to kill this tree. Now, we probably got like a little bit trigger happy in that it's going to take like 2 to 4 years for these trees to actually die and become like a hazard for falling. And of course, like right away, I was like, we got to take one down. And we did in December. So a little rushed. It's not exactly the kind of thing we have time for right now. We're trying to finish the inside of the house, but we're going to take a couple weekends and just get all this straightened out. All right, here we are. We're going to take these branches and organize them so that they are stacked along those posts right around the stream there.
We already have these posts in here. I think they were for a garden. So we're gonna reuse them as our wood storage by fashioning like a little seat at the bottom for the wood to sit, and then we'll stack all the wood inside them. Probably because I'm so strong, I was pressing against it.
Yeah, flex.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost out of light here on the first day. I've got a lot of branches just kind of chopped and getting ready to be sorted. But I think we did pretty good. We still have a lot to go. But it's all consolidating pretty nicely, and Christina's doing a nice job of stacking. So coming along. Okay, we're day 3 of the tree cleanup, and as you can see, the wood piles, we've gotten quite a lot done, and that's a shocking amount of consolidation of wood. It didn't look like in a tree, like an entire tree would fit in such a small rack, but it really does kind of go down to a pretty manageable amount for a tree. So this is what we got left to do today. I'm gonna see if I can knock out all the branches and see if we can get that done. This has been interesting. So I spend a good bit of time doing some resistance training. So I do a combination of kettlebell, barbell, and body weight exercises. And I have for probably the last 7 or 8 years. And there is really nothing that can prepare you for this type of work. So holding a chainsaw, chainsawing logs, like using long handled clippers, carrying stuff around. I mean, you can prepare for that in the weight room a little bit, but there really is nothing that replicates it. And my body is definitely feeling it. You know, I'm in my early 40s, not mid 40s yet. And I'm feeling it, man. I mean, my back is sore. It's just thankfully muscle soreness, and it's actually getting better. So day 3 was better than day 2, and day 1, at the end of day 1, I was in actually a considerable amount of discomfort. But it's just my body adapting to this new type of work. And I think if I were to do this more regularly, I would have a lot less discomfort. But just kind of interesting. I'm doing my best with my body mechanics, but this is still just a totally different type of work, and definitely feeling it. Okay, first thing today is to go ahead and set up one more of these firewood racks and get that level and get that screwed into these posts. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, setbacks, of course, like right before you're getting ready to clean up and go home are always the best. But I got that board that splintered underneath there, sistered up with just a couple of scrap pieces, and just screwed those in and then put a nice big rock underneath. So hopefully that is going to fix it. These weekends are pretty awesome. I mean, it's really just nice being outside. You've got the mountains all around you. You've got the sound of the river at the base of the driveway. It's just flowing. Just feels really good. It's just zone out. Time flies by, and it also feels really good to be setting wood by, like just putting it up and knowing that we're going to have it for at least next year. It's going to be. It's a pretty good feeling, and it makes it pretty fun.
Hey guys! So today we are going to split up and do 2 different things. Gabe is going to do some fun stuff outside, and I am back on plaster duty one more time, probably not the last time, to fill in like all the sections that we marked with blue tape that still have like gaps and we could feel air coming through, and that was like prior to Christmas. But we really wanted to get like the furniture in and the Christmas tree, so we just plowed on through. But now we're going to go back and patch up some of those holes.
And today I'm going to be demoing a couple of new tools. I got a new maul from Fiskars I'm going to try out. And I also got something called a log ox, which is going to make it easier for me to start tackling some of these big rounds. From what we did last weekend, we did a lot of chainsawing for some of the smaller branches and just kind of getting our wood pile started. Today, hopefully, I'm going to be able to get into splitting some actual firewood.
So if you haven't done it yet, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We would love for you to follow along on our journey, and if you subscribe and like our video, we know which kind of videos you like and you can get more of those. So follow along with us. So we got a bunch of spots with the blue tape. So there's this section over here. This was the very first section of wall I've ever plastered, so I didn't know these. I can't see any light out here, but I can definitely feel air. So, oh, I feel it right now. So I'm gonna fill these in. So this one right here, this one right here, there's one down here underneath that, again, I didn't think there was air coming through, but there is. And then this beautiful corner over here, where there's definitely just a lot of air coming through on this corner. Ow. Again, gotta be careful with these old walls. Just stabbed myself in an old rusty nail. Fun times. And then there's just one right here. So just a little bit of work. We've got some work under the stairs, and we've got some work, I see like one piece of blue tape in the corner. But if you're working on a log home and you see these issues, it's really good to tape them, because there's many times, and I would say probably over 10 times, where I've been like, oh, I know where that is. I'll come back to that later. And I don't mark it. And then I forget where it is, and I don't come back to it later. So mark with the blue tape. It's fine.
Do you also have to do that entire line up there? Like that entire crack?
So I think so, because the air is coming through right here. I can feel the air. There isn't a natural stop. Maybe I could like stop it here. See where this like part is intersecting the line and see if that does it. See this right here? I could stop like right here, and then I don't think there's any more air. So sometimes what happens when you chink a section like this and it has like a little air hole, you're gonna chink and like push the air further down the line. So you like won't know until you've chinked it if you still feel air or not. So you won't know if you closed it all the way or not. So that's kind of what happened. Like in this section, I think the air was really coming in here. This is actually kind of cold, so it was very, like the air was coming in through this section, but now because I've chinked this shut, I can feel the air coming through this gap, where I probably didn't feel that before, hence why I didn't chink it. So we only have one bag of plaster, and we really only have about a third of it left. So we're gonna mix that up and see how far we get. So I think that I'll be able to get all these pieces. It just depends on how deep they are and how much plaster they're gonna take up. But if not, then we'll have to get another bag of plaster. But right now, we are just gonna use what we have. I know this doesn't look very clean, but this is clean enough to do this type of work. So this stuff is all going to go away as soon as we start plastering. And I just clean like the edges, because I don't really use this part of the tool. So this actually works.
Just gonna do an inch to start here. I don't want to use too much water. And here is a second bucket, and we went through this on one of our other videos a few months ago about the whole process of mixing plaster, but this is the rinsing bucket. It's for the egg beater once I'm done mixing up the plaster. So I'm using hot water because I can, and it seems to work a little bit better. Just beautiful.
Perfect consistency, not sticking to my glove. Nope, just like that.
And we opted not to use the whole bag.
Yeah, it's very difficult
is a good start.
To mix. Yeah. Let's go. Okay, so we're back in this corner, and I've done a lot of patching. So this whole line got patched, and I did stop there at that part where there's that little bit of wood, but that wasn't enough. I could still feel air coming through, so I patched even more all the way to the next big part of the wood crack. And then I patched a few pieces in here. You can see this is cement, and then this is the plaster bits that I put inside. So this plaster does great at mixing different materials. And then I plastered all of this over here because this was a big hole. So we stopped right here, so I think that's gonna be fine. I can't feel anything coming out of there. And so now we're gonna go down here. So the last bit on this side is just gonna be this space in here. So we're gonna plaster that now and then we'll be finished with this wall. So we were painting all the chinking with the lime wash, and this is how we found these holes. So I could see light coming from outside, so that's not good. And then I could feel like cold air on my face. So that's how we found them. And again, we marked them with tape because otherwise we'd never find them again. And now we're just patching them all up. A lot of time here smoothing things out, and I probably will smooth it a little bit more, but I just want to point out, I mean, that's basically done, so it's all filled in. A lot easier on the eye, I think. Less air coming through. And then if you can see that this line is the fresh plaster, and when it cures it's going to dry a little bit lighter. And then this is the white, or like you can see here, this is the white of the lime wash. And we spent a lot of time thinking about whether we should lime wash the chinking. And when there was no white in the room, we felt like the chinking was white, but it was not. It was gray. So we're happy that we did it. Also, it really does get rid of the bugs. I just cannot say this enough about lime paint. It's like a bug miracle, especially people living out in the country. I know this is probably not a big deal for people who live in the city, but it really deters them from making little spider webs or like hanging out here. So it's great. We love it.
Okay, first thing we gotta do is I gotta finish cleaning up the rest of those branches that I was working on last weekend, and then we can start playing with the new toys. So let's get to it. Hey everybody, now it's time to shock the well. And what we mean by that is to clean out the water that is inside the tube of our well. This is something that we were expected to do, I think, right after the well was re-sleeved and re-drilled.
Yeah, it says you're supposed to do it, but we never did.
We never did it. and it's been, our water has come a long way. I mean, it started out as something that just kind of created like a coating of red slime on the Berkey water filter that we were using. And now it's just like a little bit opaque, but it could be better. And we're hoping that this is gonna push us over the edge into clear and totally clean water. Yay. So we'll do this and we'll get it tested again. We got it tested last year and there was some funky stuff in there that you probably shouldn't drink. So that includes, what's the bacteria? And there's iron. There's an iron bacteria, and it turned our water like all kinds of shades of red and pink, and then like clay colored, and now it's just like a little pink. So
work in progress.
Work in progress.
We're trying to make that thing that you're not supposed to do, like mix bleach and chlorine, you know, when you're cleaning the bathroom. But
bleach and ammonia?
Oh, maybe it's bleach and ammonia.
Chlorine.
We're making chlorine gas. That's what we're doing. Stuff that you're not supposed to inhale, but it's fine to go down your well. We researched a bunch of different ones. A lot of people have different mixtures that they put down the well, and then like how long they run kind of like the hose into the well, and then how long they let it sit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our mixture straight into the well. We're going to hook up the hose and run it down into the well and clean off the pipe for about 20 minutes. And then we are going to shut that off and come inside and run it through all of the tubes coming into the house, all of the piping coming into the house. And then we're gonna leave it overnight. And then tomorrow we'll flush it out, out with the hose. So that's our plan, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so for safety, we're shutting off all of our water heater. Yeah, I know that's a lot. We have electric water heater. It's intense. And none of the water is gonna go through our water heater. And then we're shutting off the water pump. This is gonna have to come back on to do the rinsing of the actual pipe itself, but for safety, you turn it off when you're uncapping the well. Now Gabe is going to go up and hit the bypass on our filter.
Okay, it's done.
It's on bypass now?
Yep.
Okay, great. Now, there it is. Okay, so this is the lid you're gonna have to rinse out on the inside. And that's all the electrical stuff, so you just wanna like get,
Around that or pull it out?
I don't think we wanna pull it out. Nothing said pull it out. It just said like, just try to get it like on the pipe and not on the electrical.
What do you think, Mango? Okay. One down.
Oh, it's broken like that.
All right, the purpose of this is to clean out the whole lining of the well. So we're just gonna do this for 20 minutes. I'm just hosing down just the sides, trying to avoid all the electrical. And just bleach the living crap out of this entire well.
Waiting for the smell of bleach.
I think I smell it. You smell it?
No, I smell something.
Did the toilet, did the shower, we did the sink. So we're just running these until we smell the bleach and the vinegar and ammonia. Smell it. We're stopping as soon as we smell it. The idea is that we're just bring the bleach up into the lines, in all the lines, and then we're gonna let it sit overnight.
Okay. Now we just have to run that line outside.
Right.
Good morning, everybody. It's the next day. We're just gonna get right to it and turn the water back on. So we're just flipping on the water pump. And we're gonna head outside and turn on the hose and try to drain out some of this water so it doesn't all go into the septic. Beautiful.
Is there a kink? What's happening? Is there a kink? That's how you were doing it yesterday,
It's
right?
frozen.
Oh, great.
Our hose was frozen. And I guess Christina was looking at it when it unfroze.
No, I was poking it with my finger and I unfroze it.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we got the hose working. We're just gonna let this drain for a good bit. See how long this takes?
And we've had our hose running, trying to clear out our well from all the bleach and vinegar that we put into it yesterday. It's been running for about 4 or 5 hours, so we think it's pretty clear. It's smelling pretty good. So we're just going to turn off the hose and go ahead and clean out the lines on the inside.
How's it smell?
Bleachy.
Yeah.
I guess we put enough in, I guess.
We're kind of worried about that, actually. I'm sure if we used enough. If we put in, what?
4 gallons
4
of
gallons?
stuff. I feel like that's a lot.
That's kind of a lot.
Well, I wanted to do these first because I still don't want it to go down the septic.
Okay.
So we're just still protecting the septic as much as possible.
Good call. typical amount of kind of rust-colored water. Usually hiding up in that shower head.
With a white tub, I mean, when we fill it, you can usually see like a little tinge to the water, so we'll see how tinged it is now. So it's already a lot less. You know what I don't smell?
What?
The iron. You
Yeah.
can smell like a metallic smell before, and I don't smell that anymore. Nope.
And now the shower, same thing. It's still pretty mild compared to like what we got the first few months. Getting better.
Also orange. Yeah, smells like a swimming pool. Clean the filter chamber. You're gonna see it in a second. It's really dirty. So we're gonna fill the bucket and then turn off the power, open everything up, change the filter, and then clean the actual plastic chambers then because it's orange.
All right, there's our filter.
Just put the bucket underneath it. Yeah.
Check this out.
Blarg.
Blurg. Is it coming off?
Nope. Let me try.
Want to try scrubber?
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Not coming off. I mean, like, if it was coming clean at all. Okay.
All right, road trip.
All right.
We're back.
Nice.
Comes preloaded with the filter.
That's nice.
All right, just want to hook it up.
Yep.
Hot water's on, and check that out. That is substantially better. Very nice. This is after we put in the new filter.
There we go.
There we go.
Wow. That's significantly improved.
Yeah. This is what the filter looks like now. It's much darker, but it's doing its job. It's much better. Okay, got a lot done this weekend. We didn't get quite as far as we wanted to with the wood. I didn't get to try out any of the new tools that I got, but that's cool. It's gonna be here next weekend. But we did, got the entire ash tree cleaned up. We still gotta stack that, but we got the, what else? The well.
Shocked.
The well was shocked.
You felt so accomplished this morning.
We picked out our appliances finally, and we got all the diagrams we need to be able to start designing the kitchen and the kitchen cabinets. And Christina knocked out all of the plaster patches downstairs. So we got to let those cure for a couple weeks, but then we have other things that could use a little bit of line paint. So we'll be able to get all that all in one shot in just a couple weeks. Well, anyway, well, thanks for hanging out with us this weekend, and we hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe to our channel. And we will see you next weekend.
See you guys.